Welcome to Super Simple Security Principles, where you learn how to think about online security, not just which apps to install. I'm Nick Jackson, and I am here to learn along with you from my good buddy and master guardian, Makani Mason. Yeah. Whew. This is episode 105. And we're going to be talking about when to use that disposable email alias. So, yeah, when to use one that you're going to get rid of eventually. So I like it. Let's hear when we're going to use it. What do you think, Makani?
Yeah, well, and this might need a rename because, see, there had the same issue as last week where email aliases are, in general, intended to be potentially disposable. So, I mean, that's my bad. I named it that, but we're going to kind of here, we're going to say when to use short-lived email aliases. Or
All
something.
right.
So, because this
short-lived email aliases.
I think so. Well, and the one we're going to talk about in just one second. So this is the first alias type. And
Okay.
I think the way I want to start off with is just walking through kind of what it would look like setting one up.
Okay.
And I looked at a lot of different providers of these really short-lived email aliases, and the one I liked the best. Now, I haven't used this extensively myself. I played with it. I sent some stuff to it. But because I have the third type of aliases, integrated aliases, and have for many years, and they can do everything that this kind can, I just don't depend on these on a daily basis like I do.
Okay.
So, but the domain is 10minutemail.com, a 10-minute mail.
Okay.
And so, as the name implies, that email alias is by default only good for 10 minutes.
Nice.
Now, if you end up needing it for a little bit longer, you can click a button that says, give me 10 more minutes. But the idea is that it will automatically go away so that there's no security compromise. Like, one of the reasons I picked them is because they have a much stronger focus on privacy and security.
Yeah.
Than a lot of them. And so all you do, though, is you go to the 10-minute mail. Again, it's 10minutemail.com. And right there in the browser, it will generate an email address that then you could put in to a website. And then what will happen is if they send email to that address, then the web page that you have open will refresh and you'll see the email show up there.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you don't have to set up an account. There's no connection to your real email address. Like, it's super lightweight. It's free. You know, they have some sponsored links that they make money from and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's basically all there is to it. The idea, again, obviously, if it's lasting 10 minutes, it's, if you want to download something, try something out. There's just so many things that want to harvest your email address these days for every purpose.
Grocery stores, any TV apps, any apps, like.
Yeah, but see, and so, yeah, but there are, so we have to differentiate though, because.
Oh, I did that for a reason, because let me give you an example.
Yeah.
One time, we were on vacation. We were at a grocery store, and I'm not going to say which grocery store, but it's one that we don't have where we live.
Right.
It is very much on the other side of the country. And so I could have put in an email address to get the point that I wanted.
Right.
Instead, I still get stupid crap from this grocery store that I can't even buy any of their food from or any of their things, because I'm like,
because there isn't one around here.
You're right. And so for me, it would have been a great use there. Place that I was going to be once, never going to be back again. Like, I just wanted my discount on my groceries and I needed to provide an email address. That's all it
Yeah.
was for.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, no, that is a good use case. And yeah, so right, there's the single use aspect, and then also but you can, so if you have access to forwarding aliases or integrated aliases, the other two types that we've mentioned that we'll talk about in future episodes, then they can do this. You don't even need to use them in this case because they can do the same but better. But I pay money for my aliases, and in general, forwarding aliases or integrated aliases you will have to pay for. And so, like I said, these ones are free.
okay.
So,
Remember who you're talking to.
yeah, I know. What did I say? Because I would say I saw that.
You were asking a question. Now remember, you can use these if you tried using these.
It,
Nope.
no,
I've
well, we
not
haven't
tried.
talked. No, I know that. Right. I'm just meant like, yeah. So referencing forward, if
Yeah.
once we talk about the others, if you don't have access to the other two types, then this is your fallback. And I know we don't
Okay.
know what
I
those are
got you.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be your fallback.
Yeah. And if you want to just kind of try them out, or yeah, I mean, there's something that anybody could, as soon as they have this episode, like the others, forwarding aliases and integrated aliases, there's a lot more setup to them.
Yeah.
You have to have an account. Like I said, I mean, there are some free options that have limited service, but generally speaking, count on paying at least a little bit of money.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So a couple other things about the 10-minute mail.
Yeah.
They say they've been around since 2006, and I researched them. Evidence supports that. But I will just say this about the disposable email in general. Just be careful. They're a free service, and I mean, any of them. This isn't specific. Like I said, 10-minute mail looked the most trustworthy to me, and so I don't have any particular concerns about them. But just in general, any web-based free service, I have a little bit of default,
Right. Makes sense.
suspicious of. So, and some options offer like a browser extension, and those we've talked about browser extensions a little bit, not a ton, but I just want to repeat that here. Please definitely don't use their browser extension. If they don't just generate it in the web page itself, do not install a browser extension. So I think 10-minute mail has pretty good privacy and security, but even with them, I would say, if it is dealing with money, like you were talking about, like the car example last week or whatever, bank, anything like that, I would not do anything remotely sensitive at any of these services. Yeah, like the grocery store example, perfect. Great. I was absolutely fully endorsed that one. No big deal. But so that's, I think, my takeaway for this one is just there's a very limited set of circumstances under which you want to use these, but it's very handy when you need it. It definitely can be one where it's easy to set up and just satisfy their annoying requirement of providing an email address and never have any spam from it ever.
Yeah.
Because it's not connected to your real email account. So it's very, very simple and guaranteed.
I like it. Okay.
So
good takeaway. You ready for mine?
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Right now, you're probably going, wait, when do I use this? Pay attention. In the next few episodes, we're going to be walking you through what you're going to need to know for other different disposable type email addresses and that forward email alias. We're going to walk through these things so you guys will really understand when to use what, how to use what. Again, we're going to have an upcoming class on email, or sorry, what do we want to officially call it? We're going to have an upcoming
email workshop.
Email workshop. Thank you. That was momentarily not there in my brain, forgetting it. Yeah. So please keep tuning in. Keep tuning in, because we're just going to be building. It's going to make more sense. So that's my takeaway. Love the show.
Well, and this is one case where I want to add on now, because you reminded me. So, right, you're a little bit of confusion earlier and stuff. What it's reminding me of is, so like, why did we cover this at all? Right? If it's not one where I'm like, oh, this is an awesome tool, you should use it all the time kind of thing, right? It's really just, hopefully you won't ever have to use this if you get these other better tools, right?
Right.
So why are we talking about it? Mostly it's because they exist, and there's so many options. I want people to know when they run into, okay, where does this fit?
Yeah, right.
It can be used. It's not the best tool, but here's how it works. Here's where it fits in the system. And, it does serve that purpose, and it's okay to use. Just anyway, we want to know where it fits. That's the main thing.
That's exactly. And it goes back to one of our core fundamentals, and that is layering your security, understanding what fits where, how to layer it, how to structure your security.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, that was a great show. Woo!
Are you ready to take action and wondering where to start? Get my Bulletproof My Identity Starter Kit for free. The 7 most vital layers of protection everyone needs. I'll send you one step at a time and help you if you get stuck. Just go to bulletproofmyid.com and enter your name and email, and I will send you the first step. Again, that's bulletproofmyid.com.